Welcome back to Awkward Fitness. Today we're going to be doing some conditioning drills to help improve not only your pole goals, but also body weight movement and general life, helping you out in your everyday existence and hopefully making you feel more empowered in all of your movements. So what I am going to do, because no one wants to watch an hour of me working out, though if you do, please let me know and please provide the tip. Ooh, that sounded uncomfortable. Never mind, scratch that. Don't provide the tip unless it's funny. Anyway, so we are going to review about 5 or 6 different movements. I will tell you how many reps to do, and that way you can go off on your own and do these for the recommended sets and reps. Sound good? So let's get rolling. All right, so the first movement the first movement we are going to do are our pole pull-ups. We're going to do this from our knees, specifically aimed at beginners, and I'll give the advanced folks some more options as well. So if we're starting from the floor, from our knees for our beginners and even intermediates, my knees are going to be fairly close to the pole, maybe even around the pole. You'll figure out as you pull up. One hand is going to be a little further than head height, or about my face height, the other one above it. This is going to be slightly easier than if I'm really high up, because I'm going to have to pull all the way up. So choose your adventure carefully. I am going to think about pulling. I don't want to think about pulling myself up. I want to think about pulling the pole out of the ceiling. This is going to give me the correct lat engagement and shoulder engagement I need to help build my pull-ups. We also want to be really mindful that we're not getting too trap dominant. So if you feel like you're pulling up and your shoulders are in your ears, then you're actually skipping all of the big muscle that's over here called your lats. So think about having your chest up. I'm pulling the pole out of the ceiling. You can see when I start to pull the pole down, how my chest comes up and I get a little arch. That's the engagement we want. I'm also going to make sure I'm bracing through my core and keeping everything super tight. Nothing we do in pole and weightlifting is done in a relaxed, isolated kind of, well, you know what I'm saying. Basically, you need to stay engaged. Everything should have some tension to it. You don't want to have an injury because you were not bracing properly. So all that to say, we are going to pick whichever hand you want to be up top, because we're going to do both sides to have balance. So from the ground, I'm just pulling the pole down and trying to come up off my knees and slowly lower back down. I pull up and down. If we want more of a challenge, I'm going to be in a sit. I'm going to be fairly close to the base of the pole. Same setup, same engagement. The extra challenge is keeping really straight legs by squeezing through my entire leg from my quad pointing through my toes. Engage and up, slowly down. We're going to do 8 of these on each side. So after you do 8 on one side, switch, do 8 on the other. For this, it's totally okay if you want to start in the more advanced and slowly regress as you get tired. Same, you can start as the beginner, and if you realize it's too easy for you, you can find variations in between to add some intensity to yours. Cool. So our next exercise is another classic with our pole crunches. So I'm going to come to the side here. My hips are in front of the pole. Pole goes in my armpit and I'm shutting the door. My elbow is coming right in line with my nips. So I'm squeezing nice and tight. Other hand goes above. I'm going to have a slight lean back because my hips are in front of the pole. Same engagement. I'm going to pull the pole out of the ceiling and I'm going to think about lifting my knees to my elbows. Slow and controlled. We can do this with a variety of different variations, progressions, or regressions for whatever we need. A good regression is doing this one at a time as far as my legs, lifting up, still keeping this engagement, but this just allows me to feel the movement, have more control. If we want a progression from the double bent leg option, we can do this straight leg and down. So with these, we're going to do 8 on each side for 4 rounds. So the next movement we're going to do are our push-ups. So with our push-up, we can do these from our knees or in a plank. Either one is fine. Regardless of the feet positioning, everything else stays the same for both options. I'm going to place my hands a little further than shoulder width. I'm going to push the ground away and turn my elbow pits forward. This helps lock my shoulders in a good position. Legs come back. I'm in my plank. My butt's squeezed. I'm pushing the ground away, and I'm really feeling my core through the entire movement. I come down, keeping the elbows close, push away. From the knees, close, push away. My back stays flat the entire time, no matter what. Not push-ups. Not good push-ups. We want to avoid all of that. For these, we are going to be doing 4 by 6 to 8. So when you have a range like that, choose wherever you're feeling, how fatigued you're feeling. Better form is always going to be better over the number of reps. Since we're already on the ground after our push-ups, we're going to go ahead and do some core exercises. So I'm going to do my pole-assisted sit-ups. I think it provides a nice anchor, and it's good variety. You can obviously do this without a pole, or you can anchor your feet under 2 dumbbells. I'm going to have the pole between my thighs, gripping nice and close. I like to have my hands in front, keeps me honest. I'm not trying to whip them. I lean back and up. Try to not hunch and round on the way up. That's actually taking your abs out of it. And so we don't want to do that, because then what's the point of doing this exercise if we're not engaging our core? So again, nice and slow and controlled, and up. Do 10 to 12 of these, 4 rounds. For our next 2 movements, we're going to move on to our legs. So for this next movement, you can have a chair, a countertop, your pole nearby just for assistance for balance if we start to lose. We are going to come out into second position. So my feet are further than shoulder width apart. My feet are angled at a 45 degree. So they're not straight, they're not all the way to the side. I have nice and out. For second position, for our plies, it's not like a sumo squat. So I'm not coming back and down. See how my butt is away from me? For plies, we're coming straight down. Our hips stay directly under our shoulders. So you can see the difference. Knees still stay out over ankles. So with this, we're going to take our second position. We're going to plie up into releve, so up on our toes. Making sure we stay on our big toe, that side of the foot, and not rolling out onto our pinky toe. That's bad for our ankles. It could be painful. We want to stay balanced and squared. So again, you can do whatever you want with your arms. The added challenge is having them option 1 here, second challenge, third challenge. So pick your adventure, going down, up into releve. So you can see the pole here just for balance, down, up. Excellent. We are going to do 10 to 12 of these for 4 rounds. So after you've done 4 rounds of 10 to 12 of your plies to releve in second position, we're going to continue with a bar leg exercise. You can hold on to the pole, again, anything you need for balance. The outside leg, so you can see my knee is pointed straight up. I'm going to turn it out slightly. I'm going to come up into my attitude, down, attitude, extension. Attitude, down, attitude, extension. It doesn't matter if our attitude is down here and our extension is down here, and it's great if you're up here and extending up here. Either way, we want this to be a pretty strict movement, so I'm not leaning back, using momentum to get my legs straight. For attitude, all it is we're turning the knee out, ankle and foot comes in, and it's this nice little rotation, little zigzag. Think about stag is also referred to this shape as well. So we're going to do this forward. So attitude, down, attitude, extension. We're going to do this out to the side. So we're going to come out, attitude, down, attitude, extension, and then to the back. So you can see from here, I'm going to bend my standing leg, attitude, extension. If we need to for this one to lean over a little bit for the arabesque or the backwards extension, that's okay. We just don't want to attitude, down, and extend. We want to avoid that. So we're just going to boop, boop. Our extension for the arabesque is going to be really tempted. You will be very tempted to use all hamstring, really squeezing the quad, trying to lift as far back and high as you want. That is not what we want to do. That can be painful for the low back if I'm using my low back and whipping the leg up. We really want to focus on the underbutt muscles to lift and extend. I'm thinking about kicking the moon behind me, not necessarily trying to lift as high as possible. It's an extension. So we're going to do all 3 directions 10 times for 4 rounds. So you'll go 10 here, 10 to the side, 10 to the back, and then switch legs. So you'll still do 4 rounds on each side. For all of these that require opposite side things, like our pole crunch, the pull-ups, it is always that number on both sides. So again, we have our pull-ups, both sides, do 6 to 8 on each side 4 times. Then we have our crunches, do 5 to 6 on each side 4 times. All of these are four times through. Then we have our push-ups. Aim for 8, 6 to 8, really aim for 8 if you can. Then our pole sit-ups, do 10 to 12, really aiming for 12 here, 4 rounds. And then lastly, our 2 lower body exercises with our second position, plie to releve for 10 reps, and then our attitude to extension for 10 reps. Happy working out.